Hey, hoes. Welcome back for another episode of Hoeology Podcast. This is your host, Destiny. Today, I'm joined with Michaela, aka LadiEarth, and we're going to be talking about pleasure and phone sex operation or phone sex operator lifestyle. So, we're excited. Michaela, do you want to say hi?
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Of course, of course. Have you been on a podcast before?
So I used to have a podcast, but it was like 8 years ago. So
Okay.
it's been a while.
Yeah, but you're familiar with it. You're familiar.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so phone sex operator. How on earth? I mean, like this is like, they say the oldest profession, but this is for real. Like, how did you get into this?
So I don't know. So I was working as a twerk instructor, which I still do. But
Mhm.
I was a twerk instructor, and one of the girls that I met that was also a twerk instructor, she was like, "Yeah, I teach women how to be phone sex operators." So she has and still has a business. It's called Total Lip Service. If anybody's interested in becoming a sex phone operator and don't know how to get started, they literally set everything up for you. So they have models, and I'll get into more of what I mean, but they have models that you can purchase. They have bios that you can purchase. They have layouts that you can purchase. They have training they have that you purchase as well. It's like a whole kit. And it teaches you about all the fetishes and how to recognize this person. If
Mm,
like they are like into a domination, like a financial fetish. Like it's just a crazy
yeah.
umbrella, like phone sex. So she was like, "Oh, we need somebody to help with customer service stuff." And I was like, "Okay." So then I was helping with writing the bios. I was doing all this shit, but I never was a phone sex operator because I don't know why. I was just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't want to do it. I'll just do this." And then probably like 3 years ago, I was like, I had my baby, and I'm like, I'm at home. I need to figure out a way to make money from home.
Yeah.
That's what started the phone sex operating.
Wow. Okay. So you met a friend, she was gonna put you on, and then you were like,
Mhm.
I'll dive into it. It's funny that you say that. Well, congratulations on your baby. But I read an article recently from K Health on Chat Elaine, and she was talking about how, obviously it picked up during the pandemic because people were looking to get creative as far as work because everybody was doing layoffs. But she was saying that it's actually picking up even more like post pandemic because people that were lonely or people that wanted to try something new, like it is booming as far as an industry. And I think it's really cool, and I like that it's making a comeback because I feel like it brings back a more like personable, relationship.
Yeah, and it was like I used to be a dancer as well
Mhm.
for a while, so it was kind of like a good like step back, but like knowing how to talk is something that I knew how to do, you know. So
Right.
it was something like that it wasn't like something that I was totally unfamiliar with, but it was fun being at home and not having to touch anybody, or
Right.
I
Right.
could hang up if I want to. Like if I don't want to talk to somebody, I could just hang up the phone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've done
It
it a couple
puts
times
the
where I hung up
power
and
back in yourself.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. So, obviously with phone sex operation, you were saying that you kind of met someone that had like an agency almost, like they kind
Yeah.
of helped you get all the way through it. So, do you go through that agency, or are there different websites that you have to go to in order to kind of find these customers?
So you don't have to go. So she was basically a training. Like
Okay.
it's a training on teaching you how to be an operator with all these different like, because some people would jump in and it's just like, oh, extra income, but they don't understand any fetishes. So when you think of phone sex operating, you think of moaning, you think of, oh yeah, daddy, give it to me. And
Mhm.
it's not that at all. Like I have a ongoing customer that I probably talk to twice a week, 3 times a week. And I'm on the phone with him for like almost an hour, if not an hour. And we're wrestling Like
Wrestling?
I'm wrestling him. Like I have to text my partner. I'm like, can you send me some moves? Can you send me some wrestling moves? So the website that I go through is called Night Flirt.
Okay, I've heard of Night Flirt. Yeah.
Yeah. So and you just make your whole thing. So what she was doing was like helping you set up your profile, helping you
Okay.
get acclimated to like how to use it, like putting up a bid. Like it's really hard to put, like you don't know what to do. You're just like, I'm not getting any calls, but you put up a bid for yourself, and it's like per click, you put up whatever, and you get up on the top 8. And so that's that. But Night Flirt is where I do the phone sex.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said you have a partner. So how does your partner, well, obviously you're with your partner when you got into it, but how did you kind of approach your partner like, hey, so this is something I'm about to start doing?
I think, well, he already knew I was working for them. Like I was already working for them. And then I think I was just like, I'm about to try it.
Yeah.
And that was it. Because we were friends before too. So he knew me as like a dancer as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, and I think he preferred it. Like I wasn't myself either. Like I play 2 characters. So I'm a 45-year-old white woman and that lives in Texas. My name's Carrie White. And then I'm also a 19-year-old girl named Amber. So I'm not even using my pictures.
Yeah.
I'm not me. So it's kind of like, okay, you're just acting.
Right. Literally though, that's what,
Yeah.
like you said, at least you're not like in person. You don't have to do anything physical. So
Yeah. And I think it would still be okay. He's pretty like cool. But yeah, I think it's definitely like a sex working career that's not really sex,
yeah.
which is great. So it's easier for him, of course.
Yeah. So I know you said like people don't really understand when they get into it. They just think like, oh, it's a quick paycheck. So have you seen social media play into that kind of negatively where everyone thinks, oh, it's easy, I can do it, and then they kind of like ruin the industry?
I don't know. I think I don't think they should. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That was me getting a message from my clerk. But I don't think, see, with me, with these things, I think even with me dancing, right? I was like, oh, this is easy, but it's not easy. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's like once you get into the field, I think you realize how much work is put into this stuff. And honestly, phone sex is probably one of the easiest things.
Okay.
Because you're just sitting but you're learning as you're doing it, but you don't have to get up and dance. You don't have to take pictures of yourself unless you do. So if you're 100% you while you're doing phone sex, then it's probably way more harder than what I'm doing, right? I just log on and I'm still in bed. but I don't know if I want to say people are ruining the industry. I do think that they're not as passionate in like understanding like what is actually like all of this does entail. But I think once you realize that it's not easy money, the people end up like picking themselves out.
Yeah.
And I feel like the people who are supporting the industry financially, like the people who invest in the women and like
Right.
help us pay our bills, I think they understand like she wasn't it, but I know that there are people that are out there that are it. So
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I did a little research and I saw that Etsy recently just came out and said that they were like banning anything related to like kind of sexuality or like sex toys, things like that. But I saw that Etsy has scripts you can buy for like phone sex operators. And I wanted to know if you ever used a script or heard of a script being used on these calls.
I have not used the script.
Okay.
I kind of just, so when it's like script, it's like they have like a story or something that you use.
Yeah, kind of like you were saying, like, you play a white woman in Texas or like whoever. I
Yeah.
guess they give you like a background, like a persona that you can play while you're on the phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I've never used the script, but that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I
And
was
that's
just curious. I'm
like
like,
stuff on like the training stuff, like they'll help you like come up with all these things. Like they'll
Yeah.
give you the model, and then they have like you send in a voice memo of your voice, of like your regular talking voice, not your moaning. Well, you also send that in too, but you send in like how I'm talking to you right now. And then they'll be like, oh, you could be a barely legal. Oh, you could be a MILF. Oh, you can be a da 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 da. You could be a anything goes girl. There's some like they kind of help you get into a category. So scripts are a good idea. I would say like if you don't know your angle, I would say a script is a good idea. But also there's people that like you'll have regulars, and I got regulars fast. So you want to remember things too, like that you're saying. Like you don't want to just have something that's totally not you, because you will like forget, you know?
Yeah.
Or if you're going to have something that's totally not you, you need to write your own script or get somebody else to write it for you, because they're gonna be like, where did you say you're from again? How much do you weigh again? How tall are you again? Or do you cuck your husband or not again? Like it's so many like things that they just want to refresh on,
Right.
that like, you need to know. So just like you would have, like if you choosing this as acting, just how you're studying that script, you got to study the script too.
Yeah.
To know what character you are.
That makes sense. So, what are some of like the boundaries or rules that you have to establish, or that you specifically establish with your colors?
So they might ask if I'm into something, and then I'll say no, or I'll say yes. I had somebody reach out to me through mail, which is still on the website, but it's like chat, you get paid per volley, which is like a bounce back is 90 cents or something. And then, but the mail is free. So I had somebody mail me, and they're like, are you my little evil person from hell who wants to da 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 da?
Oh my God.
And I don't want to play like that. So I don't respond. I don't respond because I don't want to play like that. I've had people who wanted me to be 12 years old on a call.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't like that. So I
Yeah.
hang up and I block them, you know? So it's a lot that comes with it, but as long as you have your boundaries, I think that
Yeah.
you'll be able to like direct the calls in the way that you want. And sometimes you might want to experiment with things with like, okay, let's see where this goes. And then you find that maybe you don't feel comfortable. Because like even though you're not by these people, it could still have a psychological like toll on you. So you have to understand your limits, and you have to know your body and know when your body is like, this is not what I'm into. And then you just hang up and then block them, and then they're gone forever. And unless they make another page, and then you just do the same thing. So.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me kind of how you get into the headspace before you log on to start taking the calls.
I do such a bad job at getting into the headspace because I have kids, and sometimes I wake up late. And when I'm taking calls and kids are here, I go and sit in the garage and I sit in the car, and then I like do the calls, or I'll lock myself in the room. But I should be getting up and like meditating or running and then accepting calls. Sometimes I wake up too late, so I just automatically log in. But then my headspace is different, right? So when I finally take my time and I wake up at the time I'm supposed to and have my tea and do my meditations and do all these things, and then I log on, I'm much more present. But whenever I wake up and I just try to bone rush into it, I get hung up on.
Oh my gosh.
I get hung up on until I'm finally in my groove. And then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You hang up on me in 3 minutes because I'm like not there. I'm like on my phone, responding to emails while they're on speakerphone. And I'm like, yeah. Put your finger in your asshole. Like it's I'm just not paying attention.
Right. Like you're not as invested. That's fair. Do you have any like female callers, or have you ever had a female caller?
No, I haven't. I've had a couple of trans women.
Okay.
call, but I haven't had any women call. Yeah.
Gotcha. That's cool. So what are some of because this is Hoeology, we're gonna get into the whole shit. What are some of the kinks that you've come across?
Oh my gosh, cucking. Cucking is a big thing.
Yeah.
Especially because of my character. So I am a barely legal.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I'm also the 45-year-old MILF. So she's kind of like, she looks kind of like, she's really fit, super fit, small butt, like, the white woman, like super fit stance. Like, I don't know. But she looks like an all-American fit 45-year-old white woman. So, yeah, she gets a lot of cucks. She gets a lot of cucks. She gets a lot of like men who are into her dominating. Feet fetishes. I get feet fetish. Like a lot of body worship, ass worship. Sometimes ball busting.
Oh, okay.
Financial domination.
I
And
feel
like
like that one, I think is to me, I feel like the financial domination would be the like biggest one.
that's the one you want, but I suck
Yeah.
at those calls.
Really?
I'm not good at them. I don't like in real life, I'm sweet. I'm so sweet. I don't pressure anybody to do anything. So I'm not manipulative. Like my partner's like, you got to manipulate the kids. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Just do what I'm asking you to do. Like I'm not manipulative. So I'm not good at that. But I try. But those are the really good calls. I get those also from the barely legal. I get a lot of like younger fetish, like people wanting like younger girls with the barely legal, which is like that's a lot. Yeah. What else? Kind of the same thing. I get cucking too, not as much with her because she's more sweeter. Likes lots of role playing.
Okay.
Yeah, I had this one guy who was like, I did like financial domination on him, and he just wanted me to like make him beg me to pay me. So I logged into his PayPal, and I think I made like $1,000 in like 10 minutes because I was just sending money. It was
You
so
made
great.
$1,000 in 10 minutes.
Now that happened twice. Not saying that happens all the time, but when it does,
What?
it's amazing.
I love that for you, for your account, everything. That is amazing. Shout out to the FinDoms and shout out to the phone sex operator.
Right?
Oh my gosh. So when they're on the phone, are they I mean, I assume that they're aroused. Is that all the time? Or like sometimes they just want the conversation piece and that's enough?
There's some people. So when with my barely legal, I had this one guy. He was like he invented some computer or some shit. I don't know if he's telling the truth, but it sounded like he's telling the truth to me. And like he invented this chess move. But he just wanted to talk. He wasn't really into like being sexual on the phone. Like he wanted to talk. And you have to kind of watch out for those people because then they want your real number. Like they want a
Yeah.
girlfriend scenario. And
Yeah.
I'll be a girlfriend scenario all night flirt, but I'm not giving you my number. Or I'm not meeting up with you. And I'll lie to people. I'll say I'll meet up with them. And then I don't, obviously.
Yeah.
But so there's some people that just want to talk, but a lot of the times it is sexual. It is people aroused. It is you getting somebody off. Yeah, and then like I said, there's another portion where I'm wrestling a guy, but I'm
How
not
does
mean.
that work though? Like, are you like, I'm putting you in a headlock? Like, what are you saying?
Exactly. So, but it's like I'm more describing the move. So with him,
So you
he's an
gotta
alpha
be
man.
creative.
Yes, I have to look at pictures sometimes and be like, what is this move? But he's an alpha man in real life, and he wants to get like kind of baited in front of his husband in fantasy world.
Okay.
I mean, not in front of his husband, in front of his wife. And so I am my husband playing the role. So, but I'm me talking to him. It's just like a lot. So it's like I'm messaging him and I'm like, yeah, he's going to kick your ass. And he's just like, he's not gonna kick my ass. We're tired of me and my wife are tired of you and your husband just being cocky. And then we'll be messaging and I'll be like, meet us at the gym. My husband's gonna whoop your ass. And then he'll meet us at the gym, right? And then it's just like he's like, yeah, she comes in with my wife Jen comes in with red biker shorts and red top with her hair up, and like he's really going into detail, which is what you want, and which makes the call an hour, which makes you get $100 an hour. And so it's like, yeah, like because I have it at $2 a minute, and so Night Flirt takes their portion, but and then they'll tip you. Like it's just like a lot of stuff that can go into it, but it's like I'm my husband, and I'm like, and I wrap my right arm around your neck while I put my left hand on top of my right hand and pull my muscles, my biceps into your neck. So he knows what position he's in. So it makes it real. Yeah. But that one I have to like pay attention. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like on my phone. And I'm like, what did you say? I'm like he knows. Like, I don't know if he knows I'm not paying attention, but I'll be like, huh? I like I don't hear him. But he's like, but yeah.
So someone's like a new caller, and let's say they're like, well, new to you, because you said you have regular. So if they're a new caller to you, how do they describe to you the type of conversation that they want, or do you list what you provide and then you just kind of work them through that?
So if you go onto the Night Flirt website, they have, and I like to place bids because that's how people see you outside of your regulars who are going to call you. But you'll be on the top 8, or you go to the next page, you're on top 12, whatever. When they click your profile, it'll tell them what you specialize in or what you're interested in. So I talk about my husband, like for my 45-year-old woman, I talk about my husband being boring. And I talk about how his dick is boring, I'm bored, blah, blah, blah. I'm a MILF, my body's going to waste, whatever's in my bio. So they call me based on that. And so that's why she gets a lot of cuckolds, because they can relate. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I bet if I had like pay piggy in my thing, or if you don't stay on the phone 15 minutes with me, I block you, and the unblocking fee is like $100 or something, then I would probably get more financial domination callers. Mm-hmm. I just look at them, and I don't want bad reviews, so I've been building them up. But yeah, so they kind of understand, like, and they'll ask me too, like, are you interested in role playing? Or I'm a cuck, so that I know what to do from there. So once you have enough, and I use a lot of, because I'm in real life not cucking my partner,
Yeah.
But I've talked to enough people to where I use their stories on people.
That's smart. That is smart. Like using real life things or like real life stories and just kind of incorporating them, because you already know what to say. Like it's less to have to come up with. So
exactly.
That is smart.
I've had a guy who was a cuck, because I'm learning as I'm going, right? So I had a guy who was a cuck, and in my head I was like, oh, all cucks have small dicks. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay. So I was like, yeah, how small is it? And he's like, yeah, you don't have to have a small dick to be a cuck. And he hung up on me. So now I don't even mention it until they say something about like they being small.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So does this we kind of talked about your partner and kind of like your partner's accepting of like everything so far, but how has it kind of, I guess, enhanced you all's bedroom experience? Like, do you feel a little bit more free to like get creative and express something, or do you still, it's like totally separate, like this is business, this is pleasure?
Yeah. So one time, because at first I think he was a little not accepting of it, but he had his insecurities around it, right? Like he would think that I would actually be masturbating on the phone with them, and I'm like, no, I'm totally faking this. Like, no, I'm not masturbating this. Half of this stuff isn't a turn on for me,
Yeah.
But one time I had got a call, and we were kind of already like, trying to have sex anyways. But then I got a call, and I answer my calls because I don't want to miss my calls, because that could be my $300 call. So
Right.
I don't try to miss any calls. And if I do, I message them. I was in the shower, I make up any excuse. I'll be like, I was getting fucked, can you call me back? Something, like they'll call back. But anyways, so he was like, let's just like have sex and like on the phone. And I was like, okay. So we tried it. And it was weird. I didn't like it. He didn't like it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely separate.
Yeah. Okay. That's I was just thinking, I'm just like, man, I feel like I would be like calling you all day at work. Like, but I understand like you have to keep it separate. It's
It's
honestly
separate. But sometimes it can be like kind of stimulating talking about sex. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's like if you listen to music that's sexy, you'll like end up feeling
Yeah.
like that. Or like, if you end up listening to music that makes you feel like a boss bitch, you feel like that. So it's kind of like you are kind of stimulating that.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe I'll be like a little bit more turned on in the moment to come back inside. But like it's not very like I'm not in the scenario, you know what I mean? But we've already kind of like been really spicy
Yeah.
before I was doing this. So I don't know if it's actually changed anything. I think we
Gotcha.
were kind of already high.
Yeah. So do you do this full time? Well, like full time hours, like all day, or do you have like a set schedule, or do you kind of do it off to the side, like part time?
So it's kind of one of my main incomes that I have right now. But I had to figure out the schedule. So it's like in the mornings from like 8:30 to 12. It's like a good time to be on the calls. And then probably like around 4:30 to like 6:30, and then from 9 to like 11. So like I have a goal every day. So I'm like, if I make that goal in 2 hours, I would like to say I log off, but I kind of don't. I'll be like, I can make more. But like,
Yeah.
if I have like other stuff, like if I need to do stuff with the kids or something, then like I'll just log off. I'm like, okay, I made my goal. But if I don't, I kind of get a little manic and like still in front of my computer trying to put bids in. Like if I just get one more call, I meet my goal, or 3 more calls, or so it just depends on like where my goal is and like if I meet that or not.
Can I ask what your vanilla profession was before this?
I didn't have one.
Okay. So you just jumped.
I've I've been just a little leaf in the wind.
I love it.
I was dancing for a while, and that was my main source of income. And then I wanted to stop, so I did, which I timed it perfectly because COVID came, so it was like perfect.
Yeah.
And then I guess my vanilla part of this would have been doing the customer service for this job.
Oh yeah.
Like whenever I was with the company, but it wasn't even vanilla. It was
Yeah.
just like I guess vanilla task. Like I'm writing, but it wasn't vanilla because I'm writing erotic bios and I'm buying models' pictures online and looking to make sure there's pussy pictures, booty hole pictures. Like like it
Yeah.
was like it wasn't. I don't think I've ever had a vanilla job.
That's dope. That's dope, honestly. I'm trying to transition full time into like this, so it's definitely interesting to hear that, you can be as successful as you want to be.
Yeah, and honestly, with this, if I didn't have kids, I'd probably be more successful too. Because my goal is low right now because it's hard. Like now that they're back in school, I'll probably make my goal a little bit higher because now I could be at home and actually work the hours that I need to in the morning
Yeah.
rather than fighting. And like, it was like the summer was so hard. And I was like cooking breakfast and then I get a call. And I'm turning off the fire. I'll be like, I'll be right back. And
Yeah.
then like coming back in. Like, because like if I get
Oh, excuse me.
15-minute calls, that's probably like $20. So then if my goal is like, 150, then if I get like a couple of 15-minute calls, then I'll be fine. So it's just like without kids, you can make a lot of money.
Yeah. It's okay. It's all good. Well, that's all the questions I have. I've loved speaking with you. This has been amazing, and I feel like that one of these clips is gonna go viral. You said $1,000 in 10 minutes. But I just want to say again, thank you so much for being here today. And I definitely will have you back when we talk about how you help women find their pleasure because we need it in today's world. It's getting crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to create safe spaces for everybody just to figure it out.
Right, exactly. So I will make sure to have your contact information in our show notes. But if you want to tell everyone where they can find you can go ahead.
Yeah, I am LadiEarth with an I on everything. So LADIEARTH. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, we will, like I said, link your show notes and we'll be talking to you again soon. So with that being said, happy hoeing.
Happy hoeing.